Hi, I'm feeling better and at least well enough to show up. I'm Liz. The past week has been rather rough. Perhaps it's my local little neighborhood world, or maybe just its reflection of the greater global world, especially here in the US. A week ago, I received a fix it note from management telling me that there had been multiple complaints and I needed to take care of some stuff. I felt singled out and it felt personal, even if I had been stretching a messy project for a long while. I just completed it, and my plan had been to tidy up that day, beginning with the big bag of straw that I had been using to fill up my little strawberries and my fruit trees. I had plenty left over, but I've got plenty more projects in the works because that's what kind of person I am. I'm not normal. I'm neuro-spicy. What that means to me is we got a storm coming. Neuro-spicy to me means that I've self-diagnosed with having both ADD and ADHD combo, and being on the autism spectrum. And that's because I've done extensive research. I've got a master's in special education, and I've also got over 30 years experience. So I'm not coming at this out of the blue. And I've felt this way for a long time. Some calming ginger and mint tea, homemade variety. I've gone my entire life without being diagnosed because, first off, I'm too old for the diagnoses to have been done back then, and especially as a woman. Women were not typically diagnosed with anything unless they were perceived as a behavior problem. And while my behaviors were not a major problem, they weren't exactly easy. What it means is that being diagnosed, I was unsupported. And not only was I unsupported, I was belittled and told I was lazy, incompetent, messy. God knows I heard that one enough times. And essentially not at all supported by the people who were charged to support me. So when the email arrived from management stating that it had been reported that I was um, needing to fix my mess, it was deeply triggering. That little girl, little Liz, still holds some wounds. And I'd let my guard down. I survived mostly on guard, rigid, my entire life. That, in addition to my ongoing heart problems and path I'm healing it up on, just doing better. And I also have fibromyalgia. If you know, you know. And if you know, I'm sorry. I lived here for right at 18 months now. And this is the happiest I've ever felt in my life. This is the safest I have ever felt in my entire life. And I was beginning to experience calm and enjoying that feeling because it was so wonderful and so dynamic and so healing. So, despite the years, decades of therapy I've had, despite all of that, that note blindside triggered me. It deeply wounded that little me. That wasn't a random attack, it was strategic, planned, and executed. I verified with some other neighbors that I do have a lot of trust with. I'm not stupid and they're not clever. I call them the Killjoy sisters. They're not sisters at all. They're three separate neighbors, three separate houses. There might even be more, but I'm quite certain of who they are because I grew up with one in my neighborhood. Every neighborhood's got one. We all grew up with one. When I was a kid, it was Old Lady Martin, and she would call the cops on everybody, except for my own siblings or and I. For some reason, she thought we were the good kids. We weren't good for her benefit. We were terrified of Dad. Anyways, Old Lady Martin called the cops, and the cops would come out. But eventually, she got a reputation with the cops, and the cops quit coming. So that was a lesson I learned when I was younger, and I tucked it away. Didn't know why, but it came to me this week. We've got a new manager here at the complex, and she's just responding to the noise coming into her inbox. But she's not stupid, and she's not the previous manager's caliber. She done a much better job, lucky her. But she's not stupid, and like I said, they're not clever. They're the old bitty busybodies that everyone has at least one in their neighborhood. Got nothing nice to say about anybody or anything. And that's how you know who they are. It doesn't take cleverness to be a complainer. So, do you have a childhood killjoy? Do you have a current in your life killjoy? Those people who just can't stand to see other people happy and have to suck it dry, kind of like dementors. By the next day, I was in full fibro flare. I had to go to work, and I worked for my next 4 days. And 2 of those days I had split shifts. So put my weekly hours in. So when I wasn't working, I was taking naps. I slept when I was between my split shifts. I slept in the morning before going to work, took a pre-nap, sometimes usually right after breakfast, and setting the alarm to wake up before I went to work. I ate a bland diet because my stomach felt like gravel. This storm's amazing. I'm going to have to flip the camera in a little while. Most of the time, I like to say that I listen to my body, but clearly I don't. I pushed myself and I did my 4 days. On the fifth day, Sunday, I slept. I did recovery sleep, a lot of sleeping, because I'd been a 6 or 7 out of 10 pain most of those days. I did get back to that biggest eyesore. There was a big bag of that straw, and I got it put away. I put it into a large 55-gallon drum garbage can that I've been using to schlop the oleander down to the garbage haul when my brother cuts it down or I cut it down. the bane of my existence, the oleander. I took before and after photos. On Monday, I did quite a lot of tidying up. Um, it's not rule and regulation compliant, um, but I didn't have it in me to do that. And I just did what I could and tried to clear as much away from the vision of the people who walk by and decide whether they're going to send a nasty email to the management or not. And it had gotten a little bad, but it's neither here nor there. Complainers are going to complain, and haters are going to hate. And lovers, we just got to love. As I started feeling better, I started thinking with some greater clarity. And it doesn't matter. The haters are going to hate. They're going to find some reason to send a nasty letter because that's all they got to do in life, apparently. I don't know. It's like I can't understand the vileness of our politics. I don't understand people like that. We all just want to get by. We all just want to enjoy our time here. And if more people spent a little time appreciating the finer things in life, like hummingbirds and wind chimes and straw blowing in the wind, water fountain tinkles and sounds, early flowers of the primrose. I've got daffodils. So yes, if more people paid attention to things like that, and if more people did the groovy things, I think we'd all be happier. The micro reflecting the macro. In my tiny little world, I've got the Killjoy sisters. In the macro world, there seems to be an epidemic of haters. I just love this wind. Okay, that's why I left my hair down. I want to feel it. I can only do so much with the bandwidth I have. That's why I only work a very easy on my body part-time gig, because that's all I can handle. I don't have extra space and time and energy for solving big world problems. And quite honestly, the lesson is I'm not going to solve this little Killjoy sister issue either. So I'm just going to double down on taking care of me and mine. This garden, this space, my groovy neighbors. This is the happiest I've been in my entire life. It's the safest I've ever felt in my entire life. And I'm reclaiming that. And I think it's the way forward in reclaiming a groovy world. We've gotten close a time or two. We've gotten really close to annihilating ourselves a couple of times too. I really do enjoy my good neighbors. One lady, she brought me this little special Persian cookie. It looked kind of like a little Russian tea cake, but on the inside there was a pistachio paste. I think she said it was a Persian cookie. And in the bag, there was a couple of dates. And oh my gosh, it was so good and so sweet of her to think of me. I've got another neighbor, and she brings me little starter slips from her parents' garden. And one day we went and raided and got some together. And she takes me to all the best beaches and all the best thrift stores. So, yeah, I've got another neighbor, and she brought me these really fun, funky, kitschy flamingos that are solar powered and light up because she knows I love flamingos. I'm seen. She said they reminded her of me. Loud, kitschy, who knows? Oh, there's a lot of joy that this place holds for me. On one of my naps, and I was doing my recovery on Monday afternoon, I got to thinking about what I was going to do about the back 40. Um, Originally, that was addressed in the first email. When I asked for clarification, I got pretty much a duplicate of the first email, but a notice that not to worry about what I call my back 40 for now, because she knows that that's a work in progress, and that I have been working on it. But I want to do something nice for the neighbors, for myself especially. Um, 18 months is a long time for a work in progress to go back there. I have hacked those bloody dang oleanders down at least 4 times. Well, with the help of my brother. I did a lot though on my own. And it's exhausting work. It's a toxic plant, and it does take a toll on my body. And anyway, the it's not coming together, and I don't have a time period for when it will. Oleander roots that have been well established for almost 50 years are stubborn. Imagine that. I think that's, no, I was stubborn long before 50, but I just get better and more stubborn. Anyways, as I was laying down and thinking about this and what I could do to at least make it prettier, the solution came to me. Here I was laying in, I always take my naps in my second bedroom when it's sunny out because the sun comes through the window. It's a beautiful sunspot, and my Tom Tom likes to curl up with me. My eyes were real sensitive still because of the flare, so I had a pillow over my head, but the sun warmth on my body felt really good. And the solution is simple. It's flowers. I'm just gonna scatter a bunch of annual flowers up there. I can pull them out, and whoever comes in to dig up the roots and put the not a fence in, another architectural detail. It can't be a fence, but it has to look like one. Um, anyways, I'm going to put some flowers down because I like flowers. People I know like flowers, and it'll certainly look better than some bare, you know, trying to dry out roots of the oleander and bare dirt. And it's icky the way it looks now, but covering it up with flowers, that's my plan. Soaking up the sun, Tom Tom curled up next to me. I felt safe again. When I'd previously felt betrayed and hurt. I've been told in the first and the second letter that the only things permitted in the carport is a bicycle, and I hate riding a bicycle. So I just don't like to have a bicycle seat jammed up my yin yang. I just don't like it. So I've never been a bike enthusiast. If it's your thing, enjoy it. Just don't invite me. It's okay. Um, I also, oh, and the other item that we're permitted to have in the carport is a barbecue grill. Hello, whole food vegan here. And ask any firefighter and they will tell you barbecue grills do not belong under a carport. I mean, seriously, who comes up with this shit? Anyways, I, my values are not represented in that list. Bicycle, barbecue grill. Nothing about it is me. So it felt like I was being told I don't belong because that's the way my little special brain, neuro-spicy, goofy little one goes to is black and white thinking and worst case scenario, catastrophic. It's been hard. Again, it was a lot of therapy, but it's still hard to not go there, especially after feeling safe. If the cure for dementors is chocolate, the cure for killjoys is flowers. Who doesn't like flowers? So tonight, in just a few minutes, likely, I'm going to try and get this wrapped up, show some pictures of what I've got going in the garden. Sorry, it's not going to be all pretty and color with the sun shining behind it. But, anyways, shortly, I am going to go to the back 40 and I've got a whole bunch of seeds saved up from people who've given me seed packets, people who've my own garden. I got probably a pound of sienna seeds, but I don't know how long they're going to last because I have a little army of junco birds and they they're practically eating me out of house and home. I've only got two, I think, two surviving. One that only got to full height of sunflowers. They do like their seeds and they're little ground foragers. So I'm going to scatter these annuals in. I'm going to rake them into place, do a little dance, make a little love, and get down because, you know, that's what we old hippies do. Y'all stay groovy.